share some light on how career counseling can actually help.
Once you know what destination you want to reach, it will be easier to understand path, the hurdles, and the things that would be required for that particular path to walk on. So it should start ideally from 8th and 9th. Why career counseling is important is because...
Hello everyone, this is Nitin, founder of Crispminds, and welcome to this conversation around careers and career choices for students. So for this conversation today, we have with us millennial career expert Reecha Gupta.
Hello.
Welcome, Reecha.
Hello, Nitin. Yeah.
So let's begin with a quick introduction about yourself and how your experience has been in the field over the past many years.
To be very honest, Nitin, I am job consultant as well as a career counselor. I started my career as a recruiter, but soon I realized that there is a skill gap, where people are not happy with their jobs and they are not doing what they really want to.
Right.
So that make me feel let's move one step backward and then guide students, help them understand what are options that are available and why people are still looking at career just casually. So that make me towards that urge of doing it as a profession.
So Reecha, you mentioned that you came across a lot of professionals who were unhappy in their careers, right? Or felt that they should have possibly been doing something else. So share some light on how career counseling can actually help students make the right choice early on in life itself.
Okay. So have you heard about Google Maps?
Yeah.
Do we use it every day?
Absolutely. Almost everybody
so
does.
What is the first thing that you do when you start your journey?
So we need to put in a destination.
You need to put in a destination. Correct. So the major, the major role that a career counseling can help a student is to put in that destination. Right. Once you know what destination we want to reach, it will be easier to understand the path, the hurdles, and the things that would be required for that particular path to walk on.
Right.
So career counseling is same. जैसे हम लोग गूगल मैप पे नहीं जा सकते, कोई डेस्टिनेशन वी कैन नॉट रीच विदाउट पुटिंग अ डेस्टिनेशन. सेम इज विद आवर लाइफ. How can we direct our life without putting a destination? So this is equally important.
Great. So this pretty much aligns with what we say we do with Crispminds as well, because we also talk about helping parents reach that goal of raising happy, healthy and positive minded children. So this pretty much aligns in the same direction. So when it comes to career counseling, what is the right time or the right age for a child or a student to explore the option of career counseling?
So the right age for the career counseling is when the students can understand what is good for them, which we consider teenagers is the right time when they are approaching their 8th and 9th. Why we suggest 8th and 9th is because during their 8th grade and 9th grade years, they have enough time to explore. They're curious to know what is there. Once they are in 10th, they are in a rat race to, score good in boards, then tuitions, day and night tuitions. Without understanding where they want to reach, they're just rushing off with the flow of their peers. So it's always better to know and understand what in 8th and 9th, that what we would like to take. What we would like to take is why? Because at least they will have a taste of it.
Right.
So once they know that we want to go in that direction or in a particular direction, they will understand. In fact, in some boards like ACSC, they have subject choices during their 9th grade. Students as well as parents are very confused which subjects to opt, why to opt. So they end up taking most difficult subjects like math, science, economics, everything, which has no link together or maybe no alignment with their career options in future. So they are ending up in creating so much pressure just because they are learning and academically they are putting their pressures by taking those difficult subjects which they think they cannot opt again.
Right. So not making the right subject choice
is what matters. Yes.
So two areas which I'd want to understand a little better, and you can share some light. One, you mentioned about boards, right? So do different boards lead to different choices? As in, would career counseling be different for each kind of a board, or would it be the same irrespective of which board the child is in?
To be very honest, no. Career counseling, the procedure, the pattern remains the same because board is only has designed a specific curriculum for the students who studying in that board.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with the career choices or how they can move ahead in their career.
Okay.
It's just the matter of what my preference is when I'm taking admission in a school. If I like a school, I'll take that,
Right.
as a schooling years of my students. So that is all. So board has majorly no relation with what the student would be pursuing in future.
Okay. And the second area is around the subject choices, right? So, how important is it to choose the right subject, and what is the process involved in identifying which is the right subject for a student?
So this is a very interesting question actually, because most of the times we parents as well as the teachers also in school don't understand the importance of each subjects that are introduced by the boards. Understand one thing, that board has designed a curriculum because they feel the importance of each subject, be it physical education or art or drawing or history, social science, whatever it is.
Right.
So subject choice is whatever subjects that we are studying till our 9th or 10th are just the introduction of the subjects that we may take
Take on.
or we may have to learn in future.
Okay.
So these are just, we can say, ABC of those subjects.
Okay.
So once you are comfortable with those subjects as an ABC, then probably you can choose that. But if you're struggling at this point of time with their basic
Basics.
concepts, then selection of those subjects just for the sake of people say don't leave that subject, or this is important, or that
Right.
is important, that is just waste of time, energy, money. Rather than focusing on weaknesses of a student, parents and teachers should understand working on their strengths and managing their weakness as something that is required.
Okay.
Because there are so many options with one subject or maybe one topic. So
Right.
it's not important कि आज कुछ छूट गया तो कल मैं ले नहीं पाऊंगा.
This gives us a good understanding on why career choices or why subject choices are actually so important for a child. Like you very rightly mentioned, that the focus should be more on the strength of the child so that they can perform better,
Yes.
and the weaknesses need to be managed. Now, when we talk about actual subject choices or making the right career choice, what are the options available to students in terms of process or selection of college or subject, etc.?
Okay. So basically, any student who is starting off with choosing or selecting a stream or a subject,
Right.
there are more than 500 plus career options.
Okay.
So which are available to everyone.
Okay.
But obviously we are not, we won't be able, a person won't be able to pursue all of them.
Absolutely.
And that is where the subject, what should I take, is important.
Right.
So whenever you are taking that choice, there are some important factors that one must consider. For example, they must include their personality, interest, aptitude, their contacts and connections. Everything that needs to be making a major important part in their career selection.
Right.
Secondly, the process that we talk about, generally people feel taking a test and the result, which is automated or a computerized report, is enough for me to take the career
Choice.
choice.
Right.
But understand one thing: report is an automated thing to get from a system, but it does not understand your emotions, your aspirations, as well as your parents or your
Right.
family's values in that.
Right.
So it is just giving a brief understanding of what you can take from the test. But what is important in it is the personal touch that a counselor only can put in by understanding the report, as well as by consulting and talking with the child, with the parent,
Right.
with everyone else around, so that they can come up with the best option that can align with the child, that can align with the parent also.
Right.
When nowadays parents says we are okay with anything that is taken, but in their mind they know कि अच्छा ये नहीं करने दूंगा मैं.
Correct.
So it's you know दोनों तरफ से बातें हो रही हैं. तो बेटर ये है कि हम सारी चीज़ों को समझें and then we come up. So it's a whole process. It's not just test. It is test followed by a personal session. And we focus majorly in Passionate Hub, we focus on these important parameters where we try to, you know, take these puzzle pieces and mix them together and give them options.
Right.
Now second is also one feels कि अच्छा इन्होंने बोल दिया यही होगा तो यही बनना है. It's not that. This is just a recommendation. We always give plan A, B and C. But we try to align them in a way that they, you know, if we are studying a plan, for example, if I'm studying science in plan A,
Right.
I would like to take it in plan B also, where you know there is some part of a science. When I'm recommending science to a student,
Right.
it is not just because he want to do it. I'll check whether his aptitude, their interest,
Correct.
and whatever he's thinking, whether that, you know, aspiration of career would require science or not.
Okay.
Otherwise, don't burden them with, you know, unnecessary subjects just
Yeah,
for the
absolutely.
namesake.
Right. And like you said that there is a lot of variables involved, right?
Yes.
सिर्फ एक रिपोर्ट देख के
नहीं
ये
हो
आइडेंटिफाई नहीं हो सकता कि हाँ यही सब्जेक्ट मेरे लिए सही है, यही मेरे को
Right.
करना है. So just for a little more clarity, when you have a conversation with students, give us a little bit of an explanation कि आपका process क्या रहता है actually, what is the process around career counseling जिससे we reach that point कि हाँ हमको ये समझ आया कि this is the subject, alignment कैसे बैठता है and what exactly is involved and how long does this also take, like ये एक ही बार का एक्टिविटी है कि हाँ हमने एक
कर लिया.
रिपोर्ट लिया एंड रिजल्ट आया, we discussed it and that's the end of it, or it is an ongoing process for some time with the child or family के साथ.
Yeah. So the process is first we take the introductory call
Sure.
with the child as well as with the parent to understand what are their thoughts when they're approaching a career counselor and what is the basic career questions or what is their, you know, confusion in the process of taking a decision.
Right.
Second, it is followed by a psychometric test, which is a
Okay.
90-minute test wherein we try and analyze the child on the basis of his interest, personality,
Okay.
as well as aptitude. And in these three parameters as well, we try to you know, evaluate them on different personality styles, different interest patterns.
Okay.
So it's not just one कि उसने हाँ बोल दिया तो बस finished है. So it's a systematically, scientifically proven method of doing it. It's the same way we, you know, approach a doctor and we
Right.
take a report. So
Right.
it's the same.
Right.
And the third is followed by a personal session which takes approximately around an hour to do. So in this career counseling, this is personal session, we try and understand it from the parent first, what they are, you know, feeling about the child, what are their concerns, what are their queries, what are their aspirations,
Right.
from the parent's perspective.
Okay.
Then we discuss it personally with the child of what are his thoughts, what is he thinking of,
Right.
what has he thought about any career, and if अगर कोई बोल रहा है कि मुझे ये करना है, क्यों करना है, has he even thought of it कि what he'll be doing in future once he complete his studies.
Right.
So we put him in different shoes of a career and help them understand with the reality of those careers.
Okay.
Will you be able to do this? Will you be able to do that? You know,
Right.
putting it like that by specification. With the report, I have a detailed understanding of, you know, what would align with the
Align.
person.
Correct.
So I'll try to figure it out, and you know, then these puzzles are mixed and aligned with each other. And lastly, when we give conclusion or the, you know, recommendation,
Right.
we sit together, all of us, like the parent, the child, and me as a counselor, and help them understand कि this is what we have discussed.
Right.
Accordingly, this is something that fits him. Are you okay with it? Do you have any query? And then once the, you know, options are selected, the parent and child, in most of the cases, most instances, 99% cases में, they agree to what the process is followed, and they are happy with it because they feel कि हमारे मन में जो था हमने तो बोला है, and that is
Right.
considered.
Right.
You know, when you hear someone and you implement it, it is the best way of doing a counseling thing.
Right.
So child को भी ये लगता है कि I'm not unheard, my
Right.
thoughts are heard, my
Right.
aspirations are heard.
Right.
Only thing is I'm giving them a right direction so that he can develop he can develop his weaknesses or the skills if any is required.
Right.
And simultaneously, without wasting time, he can focus on what is important.
Right.
So at that moment he can, drop a few subjects or streams choices can be made more easier in that case.
So thank you, Richa, for explaining it to us so nicely. So we've definitely understood that yes, making a choice is important.
Yes.
It is important to take help and guidance from a professional, and it is not just about looking at maybe a report and seeing what subject is right for me, but also bringing an alignment in the thought process of the child, the family, and what is best suited for their future.
Yes.
And
So we rightly say sometimes, in fact, I say this line every time I do a counseling session or a workshop. It is not about, 10 years of studies that you are doing. It is about 50 years of career that you would be pursuing in future.
right, absolutely.
Studies can complete, but, your career
You have to do
will
it
start
day
from
in,
there.
day out.
Yes.
Great. On that note, thank you so much,
Yeah.
Richa, for sharing insights on career counseling with us.
Sure. Thank you so much, Nitin. It was a pleasure talking